Hey, welcome. Today it's Tuesday. It's Super Tuesday. Yes, again, you're here with OnFire Show with myself, Darryl McKell Brooks.
Joe Ciano.
Neil Schloss.
And we're having a great day today. It's Tuesday. It is the 16th of December. And we're going to have a wonderful show today, and we're going to have some fun today, and it's exciting. And we're going to have a guest call in from the John Birch Society.
John Birch Society.
Wow.
I've heard so many good things about them, but don't know much
me
about
too.
it. So
Interesting things.
it'll be exciting to hear from Art Thompson,
Art
CEO.
Thompson. He's the CEO of the John Birch.
Where does McManus fit into this? Is he gone or is he?
John McManus? No, he is just not in for tonight.
Okay.
He'll be hopefully in January. We'll have him on.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Wow. And it's a lot of stuff happening in the news today, and one of the things that we're definitely going to talk about is exciting is that you saw Chris Christie at the football game.
Chris Christie, yeah.
Did you see Chris Christie at the football game?
I did not.
He was supporting the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh
my God!
grounds for
God!
impeachment.
It's ground for impeachment. He'll never. How he's going to win New Jersey if he runs for president? He can't win New Jersey.
No.
He can't win Philly. He can't win Pennsylvania.
He cannot.
Oh my God! And everybody was looking. I'm looking at the game. The Eagles are losing, and I'm looking up at the count on the screen, and I said, "Tell me that's not Christie."
And he's there hugging Satan on earth,
Oh
Jerry
my
Jones.
God, he's hugging Jerry Jones. So that's interesting today. And also, we're going to be talking about the ISIS. Islamic State ISIS released a pamphlet on female slaves.
Female slaves?
Female slaves. Wow. It's
slaves.
Female slaves.
All right.
So it's going to be one of those interesting shows today. But we're going to talk about it is on Tuesday, and we usually start off with the weekend. So, Joe, how was your weekend?
Well, it wasn't enslaved, so that was a good thing.
All right.
You were not a sex slave
No,
for anyone?
No, I was not.
Oh, okay.
I always draw a blank when it was the weekend, but I guess we were. I know what I was doing. I was resisting putting up Christmas decorations.
Yes.
This is the only one time of the year that I go green. They say, should we put up Christmas lights? I said, it's a big waste of energy, honey. I don't think we should be doing that.
And cards, too, huh? I mean,
Cards. Oh.
You sent out about hundreds of cards?
Hundreds of cards.
Hundreds of cards.
Wow.
Oh, my God. No cigars or cards.
No cigars, cards.
Cards. Wow.
And my wife.
Did you write them or did...
Well, Sue writes them. See, she's got this thing.
Now, hold up. Don't get home and get hit by a frying
I'm
pan.
not going to get mad, but
Yeah.
she gets
She walks to the door.
all these different, missionaries and all that. They have this thing that they go where they send you Christmas cards and ask for a donation. So she feels she needs to use them.
Mhm.
So she writes them out from each one of the different missions, keeps a list of, okay, I sent this one from, the Franciscans to this, and I sent this one from the Mariners to this person. So then she compiles a list. Then we have to go back and reconcile the list to what she's written, and then she's got to write a check to each one of these guys. This goes on forever. She just can't go out and buy cards. Hi, honey, how you doing?
Yeah, or send email cards.
Yeah, and email cards, yeah. How you doing? Merry Christmas. Peace.
Yeah.
That ain't cutting in our house.
Oh, wow. So that was your weekend?
That was it, yeah. That was pretty much it. And then the Eagles game.
Yeah. How about you, Neil?
Well, I had broken my side view mirror and got a replacement mirror. So, of course, I looked up on YouTube how to do it, and I changed it.
Wow.
I felt like a
Now,
real dude.
How'd you break it?
Uh,
You didn't feel like a real dude before? What?
No. not until this moment.
Wow.
I broke it. I was driving past garbage cans in Heightstown that are put out right to the curb, and I was too close trying to pass a car, and my side view mirror hit the garbage can. Took out the side view mirror.
Okay.
So I replaced it, and then traded some chickens.
Right.
I traded 2 roosters to Fred. Got some 2 beautiful female hens. So getting some green eggs now and brown eggs. So I traded that out Saturday. Of course, today is Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy
So
Hanukkah.
I want to give a shout out to my 2 boys, Parker and Monroe. Happy Hanukkah to them, of course. We did potato latkes tonight
Lovely.
and brisk, and it was great. And happy Hanukkah to all the Jews out there.
Oh, yeah, happy Hanukkah to all the Jews.
It's the week of presents for the boys.
It's Hanukkah is a very underrated holiday, even for Christians, because at that point in Jewish history, the Seleucid Empire was trying to make the Jews basically become Greeks and eliminate their entire culture and their religion. If that would have happened, that would have changed the entire course of history, and it was a great victory, and there wouldn't be there wouldn't be Christianity today if if the Jews didn't win those battles against the Seleucids. So go Maccabees.
Nice. I don't know the whole story of it. I just know that they were stuck in a temple and they had oil for 8 nights. So
that was the end of it. Yeah, that's really the end of the story. But the whole thing was that the Alexander the Great, his empire had split into 3 different empires after he went, and the part of it that governed what is now Israel was called the Seleucid Empire, and they believed they were kind of globalist. They believed that all the world would be great if everybody just did what they did and lived the way that they wanted to do, and we could all get along if you just agree with me, kind of thing.
Oh, wow. Sounds like all governments, right?
Right.
Do what I say.
Right, and
Not what I do.
And there was a group of revolutionaries called the Maccabees, the Hammer, and they came and they staged a successful revolution, kicked the Seleucids out of there, and then after that there was the miracle of the lamps. They didn't have the oil, and they had oil for 1 day, but it burned for 8 days. So that's that's the symbolic part of it. But the whole thing is to celebrate the victory.
Yeah. Well, it's the first night, so of course my boys got presents. They got their sorcerer cards, so they're pretty excited about it. They started trading their sorcerer cards with their friends, so it's pretty cool stuff. And we got, I guess, 7 more days of presents for them. We also have another guest.
What do you
calling
get for presents?
It's just 1 present a night. So
What kind of present do you get?
what kind of presents? You can get books to read. You can get games to play.
Games to play.
Yeah,
Okay.
just all little things. The same thing like Christmas, just instead of 1 night of presents, 1 day of presents, you get 7 days, 8 days of presents. So.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of presents.
8 days of
8
presents.
Yeah. So.
Seems like fun to me.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
now if you're listening right now, you could join the chat room. The chat room is located at hamiltonradio.net. If you go to hamiltonradio.net, scroll down to the OnFire radio show. If you click on that icon, the OnFire radio show will bring you to our page. And on our page is the chat room, which is the picture of the 3 of us clowns. You click on that and you'll join the chat room. You can register so your name shows up as a user. And Ruben here will approve them. And we'll see you show in the user room. I'm currently in there. I'd love for people to join us as the guest shows up. We'd love to have questions posed to him. Also on Facebook, you can like us. It's the OnFire radio show, right?
Yep, OnFire News Network.
OnFire News Network.
OnFire News Network. Yes, definitely.
And then OnFireNN.com is our website. So
now back to my so your weekend was pretty good.
my weekend was great. I mean, it's like a blink
Goes
of an
quick.
eye.
Yeah.
Actually, Friday I was in South Jersey, Salem, New Jersey, looking at farmland. 100-acre plot of land. 64 acres tillable.
Okay.
And it's a beautiful location. I mean, unfortunately, Salem's not doing economically well. Looked like downtown was kind of in shambles a little bit. Probably needs some economic revitalization. So down there on Friday. And then other than that, the weekend, it's, like I say, blink of an eye.
Blink of an eye.
It goes.
Well, that's a good thing. Well, my weekend was pretty good. I started off, I guess Thursday was the weekend, me and Jay. I went to Jay's party, job, had a party, and they had it was pretty good. We danced a little bit. A
lot of people?
Oh, it was about 100 people from a job showed up, and I sat down with her boss. Young guy. He was a young guy, too. He was a Libra. Me and him talked about Libra stuff.
The owner?
No, the boss.
The boss.
No, you got a boss. You know, you got in an occupational therapist and where she works at, she have different levels of
bosses.
Yeah, bosses.
Okay.
He was just the boss over the OTs. And
Okay.
then there's another level of management. I talked to the head of the administrator, and, we just had fun.
Yeah, they're pretty cool people, those people up top.
And one of the guys, we sat at the table. We was drinking. Was that Kruger beer? And
You're talking about Kruger, right?
Oh my God! I mean, it's
Kruger
like
beer.
It's one of those beers. You got to drink a lot to get really nice. So I drank maybe 5 or 6, and was like, okay, well, this is the last of this. But we had a great we had a great time, and we danced a little bit and enjoyed. Then on Saturday, I went to one of her best friends' party in Marsville. It was pretty exciting, and they had the good beer.
Had better beer?
Yeah, better beer. There's beer does, the two types of beer. It gets you real nice and enjoyable, and then the other ones, I think that was the beer I was drinking to put you to sleep. But they had good, they had good crackers and cheese and pepperoni.
Very nice.
And I studied for my job test, and I passed 100%.
Oh,
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Nice.
I was like, oh my God, and and Jay helped me out. She's just a awesome, beautiful woman, and educated and smart and beautiful, and just.
She chose you?
And she chose me.
Seriously?
Wow. The male slave, me. And we just had fun, and we didn't do any house fixing up this weekend, so that was good.
Nice.
Didn't have to fix no house up, put up no curtain, tile, no floors. It was just one of those things. No painting. Wow.
Mm-hmm. I did remember something I did this weekend.
What?
Went to see Nick Lowe's Quality Holiday Review. You know Nick Lowe?
Nick Lowe.
He was a pub rocker and had some hits in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Cruel to Be Kind. I Knew the Bride when she used to rock and roll. And he did a Christmas album last year, and he performed songs from that. And he had a really cool backup called Los Straitjackets. And these guys, they wore Mexican wrestler masks.
Mm-hmm.
They all wore gray suits, Mexican wrestler masks, and they played like surf punk music, and they were pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow, that's pretty good then.
Yeah.
Well, let's get back. Today it's Tuesday, and in the news today is the Islamic State of ISIS releases pamphlet on female slaves. Wow.
And what's the pamphlet say?
Oh, I mean, it has about. I'm looking at the pamphlet. It has about 27 questions, and we're going to start with one of the questions. I mean, wow, this is crazy.
Are we going to be asked the question if we would be
for
or against it?
If you were for or against it, is it permissible to have intercourse with a female captive? Wow.
Female captive.
Yes, and it's crazy. It is permissible to have sexual intercourse with a female captive. Allah the Almighty said, "Successful are the believers who guard their chastity, except from their wives, or captives and slaves of their possessors, their hands possess, for they are free from blame." Wow.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. Okay, here's another one.
That's crazy. I would just hope the woman would want to have sex with me. Not that I'd have to force it on them.
Yeah. Okay, here's another one. If a man dies, what is the law regarding a female captive he owned? If the man dies, if he owns the woman.
Well, no one owns anyone.
Well, that's what I'm saying. No one's owning.
No one owns anyone.
This is the question that
we're all free people, no matter.
Not here in America. Oh my God! Oh, another one. May a man kiss the female slave of another with the owner's permission?
And with permission,
it's a little crazy, but do you think we should go and kill them, ISIS, if just that's their issue, or is it just that's their life out there, and we just tend to our own lives here?
Well, I think that is an issue. I guess I have the issue. I look at it a little bit differently. Say, if you object to it, should you go over and do something about it if you want to? Sure. Should you force Americans to pay to do something for it, and should you force America's young men and women to go over there and die for it? No, shouldn't. We shouldn't be forcing them to do that.
Here's number 9. Now check this out. If the female captive was impregnated by her owner, can he then sell her?
Sounds like a 2-for-1 deal. I would.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, if you have your opinion on this, or you just want to call in, what's the number?
Call in 609-800-1003. Oh my God.
800-1003.
Yeah.
I gotta give that number out because I think I gave the wrong
Can
number out.
two sisters be taken together while taking slaves? I mean, who? I mean, wow! This is what they're doing over there. This is what they're thinking.
Well, again, this happened. This whole issue came to the fore, this summer as well, because there was slave taking in Africa as well. And I'm just trying to go back and find that. But again, And I'm always suspicious of this because, you always wonder how much is war propaganda and
propaganda.
trying to get the, if we weren't going to go to war because people
funny,
are getting their heads cut off, well, what about, what about this? But it seems that wherever there's these totalitarian governments, there's always degrees of sex slavery. It happened in World War II. The Japanese
You have a
took
caller
sex
coming
slaves.
We got a caller.
Oh, we got a caller.
Hold on one second, boys.
Yes.
Hello, caller.
Hey, it's Patrick. How's it going?
All right, Patrick.
McKnight.
How
Patrick
are you?
McKnight. Hey, Patrick. Are you listening to the show?
Hey, thank you.
Are you listening to the show?
No, I'm not.
Well, we got this thing. We're talking about female. ISIS came out with a list of questions of female slaves. And here's an interesting one.
Okay.
May a man have intercourse with a female slave of his wife?
A female slave of his wife?
Yes.
And the answer is
that a threesome? I mean, I don't know.
No. But
I don't know.
Let's get down to serious business.
I know.
We can move on from this.
No, I'm just,
Hey,
it's
Patrick-
just funny. It's just one of the funniest things you ever want to see. I mean, what is that?
I'd rather Patrick talk about the Libertarian Party. Patrick McKnight,
Hey, Patrick, what's up?
who we have on, he's the chairman of the Libertarian Party for New Jersey. So, Pat, do you mind telling the people about your party and how to become involved with it and what the Libertarian Party is all about, Pat?
Sure, thank you. Yeah, it's a very exciting time for our party. We're the third largest party in the state. We're the fastest growing party in the state. And in fact, we're now the only growing party. Over the past 12 months, both the Republicans and the Democrats lost over 1% of their registered voters. And our numbers exploded by over 8%. So we're very excited about that. If people want to learn more, they can check out our website, njlp.org. And we have a big holiday party coming up on Saturday at Killarney's in Hamilton at 7 p.m., and we invite everyone to come out and learn more about us. But basically, we're the only party that's founded on the principle of liberty, and we're the only party that isn't corrupt. And I get phone calls and emails every day from people wanting to get involved and wanting to run for office. And one of the things that I'm focused on is I'm trying to get as many grassroots, regular people to run for office, because if we leave politics to the politicians, then we're all in a world of hurt. So,
hey, Pat,
it's a very exciting time, and I encourage everyone to check us out.
Pat, what's the best way to join the group? Is it just go to
njlp.org.
njlp.org, right, Pat? Is there a sign-up button on there? Or?
Yes, there's a link on the website that says Join Now. It's like a blue link. And I also encourage everyone to register Libertarian as well, because that sends a message to the establishment that people have had it with this two-party system. And we have these taxpayer-subsidized primaries that no one even votes in anymore, and it's totally absurd. The whole political system is set up to discriminate against the third party and to enfranchise the two establishment parties. And the two establishment parties are running this state and this country into the ground. We have 25% of the state living in poverty. Supposedly we're in an economic recovery, and 1 in 4 people are living in poverty. I mean, it's an absurd situation.
Hey,
We have
Pat.
so many people leaving the state. And what I wish is that, people spend so much time complaining about New Jersey or just leaving New Jersey. If we took a fraction of that energy and used it to organize people in a positive, proactive way, we could actually fix some of the problems in this state.
Pat, we got to go to commercial break in about 30 seconds. So Daryl's going to do a few plugs right now, and then we're going to head to commercial break, and we'll get back to you after the commercial break. So, Daryl, just tell about the Facebook page, how to get to the chat room, all that other fun stuff.
Oh yeah, it's you want us to go to the Facebook page, join OnFire News Network at OnFireNewsNetwork.com, OnFireNN.com. And you'll go to the Facebook page and the Twitter, and then also you can join us at our chat room. You go to HamiltonRadio.net, go and click on Fire Show, and you can check out our page and check and chat with us. Yes, and it's so exciting. It's just one of these exciting times about what's really happening around our society and how we're doing great things around the state of New Jersey, and the Libertarian Party, Tea Party groups, and OnFire News Network. We'll be right back.
Whether you're challenged with dry, brittle, flaky skin, oily skin, or your skin is simply dull and lifeless, I've got a great skincare line for you. It's called Tazati, T-A-Z-A-T-I. At Tazati.com, you can order products online that are so pure and natural, your skin will come alive with radiance and vitality. You see, Tazati organic skincare products use deep, hydrating moisturizers with natural elements like aloe vera, olive squalene, and shea butter, rich and proven to replenish your skin, yet never greasy. Also, if you suffer from adolescent or menopause acne, you can shop online for Tazati's gentle two-step cleanser, which heals acne by balancing your pH, ultimately putting a stop to skin eruptions for a clean, clear complexion. And the popular Vanishing Elite product can be applied to your face and neck to help combat dark spots for a smooth, even complexion. Place your order today and see what a few of the many satisfied Tazati customers are saying. Go to Tazati.com.
I'm Art Silvano.
And I'm John Acunzo.
And we're from Sunday Worship and Talk with Art and John. Every Sunday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on HamiltonRadio.net. Come, join the SWAT team.
This is amazing grace. This is unfailing love. That you would take my place. Then you would bear my cross.
If you want whole foods and more natural products while making your family healthier, visit 2285475.myforevergreen.org. That's 2285475.myforevergreen.org. Do it today.
Hey, you're back with On Fire Show. You're here with Daryl, Joe, and Neil. And Joe has given out some great junior mints, and it tastes pretty good.
Yeah, but most importantly, we have Patrick McKnight on the call.
That's right, Patrick McKnight, the chairman of the Libertarian Party. Hey, Patrick, how long have you been chairman?
I've been chair since March, and it's been a great experience. It's been very exciting. I've met a lot of great people, and I'm also looking forward to our next convention. It's going to be March 21st in Hightstown at Tavern on the Lake. I invite everyone to come out and meet the leaders in our party. You know, none of us are career politicians. We're all volunteers. None of us make any money doing this. We're all doing it because we care about our state. We care about our communities. And I think we're a great organization. You know, there's a reason why we're the fastest growing party in the state, and it's certainly not because we have the most money. It's certainly not because we have the most connections. It's because we actually stand for something good that everyone can get behind. So,
right about that, brother.
Very exciting time for our party.
Now talk about once again the parties coming up. When is it? Friday, Saturday?
It's Saturday. It's Saturday, December 20th at Killarney's in Hamilton at 7 p.m. It's free admission, and it's just going to be a chance for everyone who loves liberty to get together and have a good time and organize for 2015.
I definitely, hopefully I can definitely be there, me and Jay, because we've been going to all these birthday parties, Christmas parties and celebrations. Joe, how about you, Joe? You don't know?
I might be there. Who knows?
Yeah, Joe might be there. How about you, Neil?
I'd love to go, but I'm telling you, I feel like my kids take up my life at this point. But if I get a chance to get away, yeah.
Them kids.
Can I trade them in? Am I allowed to trade them in, or could I?
ISIS will take them.
ISIS will take them.
Oh, no.
I didn't say that. Joe said it first.
Well, I got boys, so I'm lucky. Well, Pat, thanks for calling in, buddy.
Oh, my God.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, we'll have you back on. Of course, we'll keep trying to promote your party just so people are more aware that there's more than two parties out there.
Uh-huh.
There's no D, there's R.
Yeah.
There's an L also. I guess there's a C somewhere, Constitution
Party.
Party.
And there's the Independent Party.
You got your G.
Your G, what's G?
What's up, G? It's the Green Party.
Oh, the Green.
Oh, no green.
No green.
No green. Yeah.
Yeah, the Socialist Party.
No green. I don't like the green. They don't like me.
Yeah. All right, Pat. Well, listen, enjoy your night, buddy, all right?
All right, thank you very much, guys. Have a good night.
All right, take care.
Later, buddy.
And
Oh,
what
and-
we have 2 weeks ago? We had the Black Panther party
Black
here.
Panther party here. Yes, we've had them all.
Yeah, the
John-
BPP.
The BPP.
NBPP.
NBP. That's
New Black
the
Panther
new Black
party.
Panther party.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of the things that's so exciting. It's
In the OGC, right?
Who's
Is that how it
OGC?
goes? Isn't that one of the songs? Who
OG.
knows me?
What are you talking
How does
about?
that go?
I don't know.
No?
Get down with OPP.
Oh, OPP.
OPP.
Not OGP.
Oh,
Listen, I'm
you down
I'm
with
aging
OPP?
myself.
Yeah, you know me.
Listen, the OGP.
OGP. You know, one of
Making a new song up here. OGP.
the, you know,
Because you know me.
yeah, telling your age, our age. You know, one of the things that's so great about Christmas season. You know, this is my second cup of. I usually don't drink Dunkin' Donuts. I usually a Wawa.
Dunkin' Donuts. It's
Yeah.
got a good coffee, I gotta say
I
that.
usually for Wawa and Johnlette, my beautiful Johnlette, her sister gave me a birthday, a Christmas card, and it came with one of these cards from Dunkin' Donuts, sent out a gift card.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, since I've been using this too. This is my second time using the gift card, Dunkin' Donuts. Wow.
I like Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
Are they
Now,
going
how do you
to
like
be a
Dunkin'?
sponsor of our show? And
How
if
do
they
you
want
like
to be a
Dunkin'
sponsor,
Donuts?
how do
And
they
I asked
become a
you-
sponsor?
I asked you, did you want a Dunkin' Donuts card? Yeah. I asked you, did you want a Dunkin' Donuts milk or something, or coffee or something? You said no. But
Me?
You like, yeah. Remember?
Well,
Outside. I asked you, said you want Dunkin'
Oh,
Donuts.
just now? No,
Yeah.
I don't want a Dunkin' Donuts. Right now, I don't want anything.
Oh, okay.
I'm just, my stomach is like kind of like just hanging by threads. I figured Nints might settle them down a little bit.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
Yes.
I'm in the room,
Had
in
a
a
lot-
closed room with you, Joe.
I had like a greasy, garlicky pizza, and like
Oh,
I thought
wow.
it'd be the right thing to get. It was a seafood pizza at You ever go to Vincenzo's in Willingboro?
Who?
Vincenzo's in Willingboro.
Vincenzo's.
No.
Yeah, it's
No,
great.
I've never heard of that.
Vinny. Yeah, but seafood personal pizza, only $9.99. It's great.
Oh,
It
wow.
had scallops and shrimps and mussels and clams on it, but it's not sitting well.
Oh,
Now,
okay. Also, what did we do yesterday? Did something. You know, I can't forget. Oh, I got some roses.
Yes, we did. I took Daryl on like a mission of love.
Oh,
I
yes.
drove at high speeds too. 'Cause
Oh,
I was
my
like-
God. This guy, he's driving down the street. I said, all right, calm down. He's
Daryl calls me. Oh, we're good. More people calling in.
No.
No, that's me just checking the
Daryl-
volume.
More
I-
people.
Sure, I can
Daryl
hear it.
calls me like, what, 8 in the morning. Says, what are you doing? So what are you doing?
No, you're up. No,
Yeah,
you're
we're
up. Oh,
yeah.
you're up.
He goes, I get some flowers. So I figure he did something bad, but okay, I don't know.
I
was
did
like-
something bad. Yeah.
So I wanted to be in Cherry Hill by 3. But I screwed that whole thing up. So I finally said, okay, it's like 10 to 2. I said, okay, I can take him. So I pick him up like in one side of Burlington, drive all the way across Willingboro to the flower place. He runs. I said, you got to hurry, get the flowers fast. And I drive him back all the way back across town again. Drop him at his fiance's workplace and said, see you later. Boom.
He took off, yes.
Wait, was it through an Uber relationship?
No,
Did
I
he-
should
did
have.
he-
I should have done it as an Uber, and then I could have charged him like $40 for that ride.
Yeah. Are you still doing that, Joe?
I'm still a registered Uber driver. I haven't driven in a few weeks. My wife's not a big
Yeah, well, I'm
Uber
not
driver
a big fan. I'm not
of,
a fan of that because he had to have his baseball bat to the side.
I do have a baseball bat
He
in
had
my
his
car,
baseball bat
which
aside
is
his
just
car.
reminds me again of Naughty by Nature.
Oh.
That was their logo, was the baseball bat.
Nice.
Good
nice.
boys from Newark.
Oh wow. Yeah. So she once I gave the card, the 2 dozen of roses, and I went to a job and I walk in there and says, okay, I didn't figure they know who I was, so I just put the roses down. I got to go. This is for John Lett. Oh, you're that guy. Oh God. So and everybody's like, oh how sweet. Oh, I just let me go. Here's the roses and we're out.
Well, we have a call coming in, so
Okay, we
this
got a
could
call
be
coming in.
hard. Hold on.
Might be
Here it is.
FTD.
Who?
All right, it
Art
is
Thompson.
Art Thompson.
Hello, Art Thompson.
Hello. How are you?
I guess you've been listening to our show.
Yes,
Yes. How are you, Art?
I'm very well. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm excited to have you on. This is Neil Schloss here, and I've actually been a Ron Paul guy, and through the campaign, a lot of people came to my office during the campaign, and they would talk about the John Birch Society. And I kind of heard the name, but don't know much about this group. So, Art, do you mind talking about first introducing yourself, as well as explain about what the John Birch Society is about?
Yes, well, I'm Art Thompson. I'm the CEO of the John Birch Society. It's where the buck stops, so to speak.
We have a mission primarily that everybody can understand, putting it this way, that we want to preserve the independence and the Constitution of the American people. That's it in a nutshell. Most people agree with that. They want to keep the Constitution. They want to keep their independence. But where we get into a lot of trouble is when we take our oath to the Constitution literally. I've taken the oath 5 times. And I've stood and put my right hand up and said that I will work to uphold and defend the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic. Now, they tell us who the foreign enemies are, but nobody tells us who the domestic enemies are. But we have them. And we in the John Birch Society say this: look, there are people out there who want to rule us, just like any other country in any other age. They have various techniques for doing that. And one of the things that is in the way of those techniques to subjugate the people is the Constitution of the United States. It protects Americans of God-given rights. It limits the amount of government that can be implemented and imposed on the people. That is in the way of a totalitarian government. And so whether that totalitarian government poses as a benevolent government at first or comes in with heavy hobnail boots, it doesn't matter. The Constitution is a problem for them. As long as the American people love the Constitution and understand it in its original intent. And so we not only do that, we adhere to the Constitution 100%, no ifs, ands, or buts. And the other thing is that we identify people who are opposed to the Constitution, who are trying to undermine the Constitution, and have formed a conspiracy, as we put it, to subjugate the American people. And they don't like to be exposed. And that's what gets us in trouble, because they have some mighty influence within the media and other areas, and they will attack anybody that turns over the rock and says, here you go, this is the nest we've been warning you about. Anybody who's studied Nazi Germany, for instance, should be able to see that some of the same techniques are starting to be used in this country, not by constitutionalists, but by those who either identify themselves as liberals, neocons, whatever label they put on themselves. And one of the things that they're doing right now, for instance, is stirring up a lot of divisiveness in the community between color, between religion, between ethnicity, and that sort of thing, and creating a lot of problems in the streets and so on and so forth, with an end in mind. And that end in mind right now is a nationalization of the police departments, from local police controlled by local citizens into a national police controlled by the federal government. Nowhere in history can you find where you've had a totalitarian government without a national, federal, whatever label you want to put on it, police force, whether it's the Praetorian Guard or the Gestapo or the KGB or whatever it is. This is just one aspect. But they have many, many things that they're trying to do in relationship to subjugating us and abrogating the Constitution. Right now, one of these things that's moving behind the scenes is what they refer to as free trade. Now, who can be against free trade?
That sounds pretty good, right?
It's trade. Who can be against it?
Right.
Except that's the label. Now, we've all bought a package, for instance, through our lives that had a very nice label on it. We saw the advertising. We got it home. We opened it up, started to use it. It didn't quite do what was advertised. And that's the problem with free trade. It's a label, but what's being advertised isn't the reality of what's really in it. What's really in it is merger. In other words, what they're trying to do and what they're saying is behind the scenes that this is economic integration, which is not trade, it's economic integration. And another term they use is the the Atlantic Union. And they really mean to put us into a union with the European Union. Now, I know I'm going on here, but let me give you one more vignette in this regard. I visited Germany in a fact-finding tour in Austria back when the wall came down. I was there in Europe when the wall came down. And I went around and was interviewing a number of people throughout Western Germany, primarily in the government, in academia, in publishing, the man on the street, the civil servants, students in high schools, whatever it was. And one of the interviews that I had was with the public relations man of the EC, which was the European Community, and that was renamed into the European Union several months later. That man looked at me across from his desk, and he told me this. He said, look, when we get this together, meaning the European Union, we're going to be bigger than you geographically and economically, and we're going to drag the United States into this union, kicking and screaming if necessary. And I thought, wow, that's very arrogant. And I said to myself a second later, well, look, I'm sitting in his office. He's telling me this, and I represent the New American Magazine at the moment. Has he told this to the Washington Post, the New York Times, and the Wall Street Journal? And if he has, why haven't they been talking about it? And then I realized the reason why is because they also have adopted this policy of it going into a European Union at some point in the future. Now, I brought in two issues into the discussion, but primarily what we're trying to do, to answer a long answer to your very simple question, is that the John Birch Society is trying to maintain the independence of the American people and the Constitution in its original intent. And a lot of people don't like that.
Mr. Thompson, this is Darrell Brooks. How you doing?
Yes, fine.
Can you give us an audience a little history of the John Birch Society? Who's the founder?
We were started by Robert Welch in December of 1958. And he named the organization after John Birch, who was a Christian missionary to China before World War II. After Pearl Harbor, he volunteered and became part of Claire Chennault's Flying Tigers and was an intelligence officer operating behind Japanese lines a great deal in China, and supplied the intelligence for Claire Chennault to be able to bomb a lot of the Japanese supply lines. He rescued pilots, that sort of thing, built two emergency airfields behind enemy lines. In fact, he was the man, if you really look at the history. Now, I know you can't, this is hard to find, but it is possible, and it is true, that he rescued Jimmy Doolittle and two other aircraft crews from behind Japanese lines and brought them to the American forces.
Wow.
And anyway, because of his bravery, his dedication to his country, his insight as to what was going to happen after World War II through the letters to his mother, that communism would become the big enemy, Mr. Welch decided to name the organization after him. And he took a look at hundreds of organizations as to what made them successful and what made them failures. And out of that, he crafted the organization that we have. And it's a real organization. I know this is going to sound crazy, but up until December of 1958, there was never an organization in the history of man put together to be a permanent organization to promote liberty. There never had been one. And so it was very, very unique. Now, as a result of the way it was organized, we were able to take and do some things that got on the map of the communists right away. They started to notice something that they had never seen before, and that was organized resistance on a national scale. And so they recognized that there was something going on, and it didn't take them very long to find the John Birch Society behind it. And in I think it was 60, there was 81 communist and workers' parties that met in Moscow, and they said the only thing that stands in their way now is the growing anti-communist movement in the United States that they have to destroy. And according to the testimony of Edward Hunter, who was the man who coined the term brainwashing, he was the Army's expert on that with the Korean War POWs. He testified in front of Congress that the John Birch Society took the brunt of that attack. And so we saw tremendous media coverage of the John Birch Society, almost, I would say, 95% negative. and they just believed the propaganda that we were racist, we were Nazis, we were communists, we were Klan. You name it, they named us that label. But it wouldn't stick. And then finally, after a few years, they just put the silent treatment on us because they realized that the smear treatment was no longer effective and was actually giving us attention that they didn't want to do, because they felt that if they give us attention, then people who were looking for something to do to change what was going on would come to us because they noticed us. So they just stopped it.
Yeah. Hey, Art, it's Neil Schloss here. Like I said, I met a bunch of people that are members of the John Birch Society, and of course, having conversations with them, the most impressive thing was their knowledge of factual things that have happened. And they talk about the John Birch has a library there that's like an incredible resource for members.
Yes, we do. We have about 50,000 books. They're not your average books. They're all historical, academic, that sort of thing. You would be hard pressed to find light reading, Plus, we have a research department. We have archives that we've developed over the years. We have a lot of hard copy stuff, before the electronic age that we've stored. But the history of the communist movement and other things within our archives is phenomenal. And we employ people to work in that full time to provide us information. The internet, of course, is real great today. That cuts down on a lot of time.
Yeah, and Kip Webster, who is, I guess, what is he, a regional coordinator for the John Birch Society?
That's correct.
He's been very active in New Jersey, hosting different events, and there's movies put out by you guys that are excellent. But just to go back to the book question that I had for you, what books influenced you, Art, and what made you get to the point where you heard about the John Birch Society, became a member, and went from there?
Well, the books that influenced me, first of all, as a youth, I saw the communists up close and personal in Seattle. And my dad had channeled my reading. When I was 10 years old, he had me read George Orwell's 1984 in the first edition. And he had me read the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the biographies of the signers of the Declaration of Independence, and that sort of thing. He gave me a real love of my country and my form of government before I ever got started doing so in school. But then I started to notice things around me. Seattle area has a very high communist contingent, and I saw what they were trying to do, the hypocrisy of what they were doing, a number of things of that nature. But then I went through a period of hibernation, if you will. Chasing girls, going to college, being in uniform, that sort of thing.
Nothing bad with that.
But when I got home, I started to notice that there were some things going on that I didn't like, and I recognized that it was coming from the communists. And so
now, what year was that, Art?
This would be in like 61.
Okay.
And so then I went to the library, and I got every book I could find on communism, and I read it. Mm-hmm. Some of them were good, some of them were better. Some of them were worthless. And it heightened my knowledge to a certain degree, but it still didn't satisfy me. And I thought, well, I've got to do something for my country. I'm still in the reserve. I want to do something. I started to infiltrate Marxist organizations because all the books in the libraries were people like Matt Zvedek and Herb Philbrick and others who had infiltrated the communist movement. But the problem was I was not willing to go that far. You have to cross the line when you actually become a Communist Party member, and I was unwilling to do those things to do that. So I was always on the periphery, but never into it. You can still find out an awful lot, but at any rate, so I got dissatisfied with that. I said, there's got to be more to this. There's got to be a way of stopping these people. So I started to notice the smear in the newspapers, in the Seattle newspapers, and it was really heavy. I mean, it was really bad because of the Boeing Company. The Boeing Company in those days was an anti-communist company. And they even required all employees to watch anti-communist movies put out by the House of Representatives. And so when I saw that, and I said, okay, that just heightens my concern all that much more. What can I do? I don't like what they're saying about the John Birch Society, but maybe I better take a look at it. So I finally came in contact with a member of the society and asked him about some of this smear. He gave me some literature to read, and I realized that everything I was reading in the newspaper was just simply balderdash. And so I went to some of their meetings, that sort of thing. I couldn't find anything that I disagreed with, and a great deal I did agree with. So finally I joined the society and started from there. That was in March or May of 1964. I've never looked back.
Well, that's great. And like I said, I met a lot of John Birchers through the Ron Paul campaign. So they kind of talked to me about the society. And like I said, I'm glad you called in. I think hopefully John's going to call in next month. And we'll keep trying to educate people on organizations like yourself. Now, you have a few books that you wrote yourself. Is that correct?
Yes, I've written a few, and I've got one that's going to come out this next year that's going to kind of be a little bit controversial. I've written the latest book is the International Merger by Foreign Entanglements. International Merger by Foreign Entanglements. Our forefathers said we want to be friendly with everybody, we want to have commerce with everybody, but we don't want to get involved in entanglements. And so up until we became a member of the United Nations, we weren't involved in entanglements. Ever since we joined the United Nations, we've become entangled with other people, which has started to abrogate our Constitution and the ability for the United States to make unilateral decisions and for the American people to do so. And it's quite a big concern right now. And like I said, they're trying to get us involved in these partnerships, is what they call them. And just think about that word for a minute. What does partnership mean to you? And it means merger. It means union, at least to some degree. But to a degree, I'm afraid, that will abrogate the Constitution of the United States. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't seem to understand. You can learn a lot more about all this by going to jbs.org, and look up some of this stuff. We just gorge people with information on our website. It's phenomenal. And we also have thenewamerican.com, all one word, thenewamerican.com, where we put out anywhere from 6 to 12 articles each day. They're all original. We don't put in an article written by somebody else. We have our own people. We have a pool of about 50 writers that we use. Most of them are boiled down to about a dozen of them, but we go beyond a dozen into the major pool of 50 once in a while. And it's all the issues of the day.
Okay, Mr. Okay, great, Mr. Art Thompson. We got to go into a station break, but I want you to talk to us about you were on the Alex Jones show. And there was some controversy about that. You can talk to us after our station break about the Alex Jones show.
Okay.
All right. We'll be right back. This is OnFire Show. Hey, once again, you're back with OnFire Show with me, Neil, and Joe, and we have Mr. Art Thompson on. He is from the John Birch Society. He's the chief executive. Hello, Mr. Art Thompson. You here?
Hello.
Hey, how you doing? Two questions I want to ask you. What do you think about our President Barack Obama and what he's doing to America? And also, you were on the Alex Jones show. It was kind of controversy, and we want to talk about that. Two things right now. What do you think about Obama and about the Alex Jones show? So go ahead.
Well, Obama is course, everybody thinks he's president. He was elected to president, but anyone who really studies his life and really honestly believes that he elevated himself into that position is a little naive. He has been tutored and coddled and well instructed his whole life. He's never really held a real job that the average citizen would hold. Been a community organizer, and he is. I look upon him as a fantastic mouthpiece for those who are handling him, and I don't agree with what he's saying and what he's doing. In fact, I believe that he is destroying the Constitution with some of the things that he's doing. Whether he's right or whether he's wrong in vis-a-vis how he's doing things, it doesn't matter. How he's doing them is against the law. Executive orders were never meant to be anything other than procedural matters within the executive branch, not something that was beholding to all the American people, businesses, and so on and so forth. That was never its purpose. So this recent thing that he did with immigration and that sort of thing is illegal. But the problem that we have with those sorts of things is that the Republicans. Now I'm speaking of the Republican establishment now, not the average Republican. But the Republican establishment is not really an effective opposition to Obama, because they do not want to be an effective opposition. Now, it's going to take 20 minutes, and we don't have that time to explain what I mean. But the long-range plan of the establishment of both major parties is not to have borders. And so why would they be concerned about immigration, illegal immigration, if the long-range view is not to have borders? I'm referring to the North American Union and that sort of thing, the Security and Prosperity Partnership, SPP.gov. If people go there on their web to SPP.gov, you will find that there was a website that talked about this by an official government website, but it's archived, even though they took it down because we exposed it.
Hey, Art, we have a question from the chat room. Because you made the statement that what he's doing is against the law, and the guest who is I guess it's guest 41345 on the chat room. Of course, if you want to join the chat room, go to HamiltonRadio.net, click on the chat room. You can post what your question is, and we'll try to get Art to answer that question. So the simple question is: so what do we do if he's breaking the law? Like, what would be the steps that the American people should do to stop it?
Well, for one thing, they have to recognize that they've got to exert as much influence as possible on the Congress, because that's really where it's going to be solved, is in the Congress itself. If Congress has the will, then it will be stopped. And it doesn't matter whether it's Obama or a Bush. If they're doing something wrong, Congress has to maintain its balance of power. The House of Representatives ultimately has the power within the Constitution through the power of the purse, and also they can even order the Supreme Court not to decide certain cases, to actually pull away from them any decisions relative to a certain issue. They have that power to do that, and they've done it in the past, and I mean the historical past, not just recently. And those are things that they can do, but it starts with the people themselves. It's a long-range deal. I mean, you can't solve this thing overnight. We've got into this mess over decades, and it's going to take decades to get us out. Mm-hmm. Because if the people understand the Constitution and our form of government, they will put enough pressure on Congress to do what's right. The problem is Congress isn't doing what's right. I was just there last week. I can tell you there is a huge rift between those who understand and appreciate the Constitution and those that do not. It is incredible.
Well,
and you can.
Art, sorry to jump in here, but of course the chat room's starting to go, and the thing is, you say go to Congress and get them to take action, but it seems like they are doing nothing.
Well, that's the problem.
So
there's not been enough pressure exerted on these guys to do anything. That's the problem. Yeah, people get out and vote. I'm talking about getting involved, doing something, going and visiting your congressman, going and visiting your local government officials and saying, you too have to exert influence. I mean, nothing will work in the long run without the electorate doing it. Nothing.
Now, I'm a CPA, Art, so I look at and I defend people against the IRS during tax audits. So and I have an attorney who works at my office who we talk about proper procedure, and in one sense, it's the joke of the paper chase, which means bombard Congress, and not just Congress, but the government with lawsuits to say the people are upset or complaining about, and in truth, redressing their grievances against the government that's overstepping its powers, which I think would be the next step outside of Congress, because I don't think Congress is doing much. I think, unfortunately, it's like they're all in the same bed. The president, the executive branch, and the legislative branch are in bed together, and the only third control that the Constitution has would be the judicial branch, which would be bring lawsuits against the government and have them answer the questions of their violations. But again, I know that's a long process because the court system, you get caught up in the lowest court and you have to work your way up to the Supreme Court. But I mean, my thoughts are you have to go to the judicial branch, and the people need to start suing the government and redressing their grievances. Otherwise, the two parties are getting away with murder, meaning the legislative branch.
Well, you do understand, though, and part of the problem, and I like to quip, and it's done in humor, but there's a lot of fact to it. It isn't what the law says; it's the judge you draw. And all of this has to do with replacing the people who are in these positions to do if they're not doing the right thing.
Right.
And it's a long range deal. It involves the worst, most vile word in the English language that nobody even wants to utter, and that's work. And it's the nastiest four-letter word that we can speak, work. Nobody wants to do it, but people have to do it, and they have to get involved doing it. If they don't, they're going to lose their country. They're going to lose their freedoms. It is going to be a shock that goes around the world if we lose this country to the extent to where we are no longer the beacon on the hill, but we become the pariah of the world. And we can still save this country. There's a lot we can do. It's just a matter, are we going to do it?
So, Mr. Art Thompson,
mind.
So if we know that Congress is it's at its lowest percentage, and we have politicians that basically have failed us when it comes down to the Constitution, and it's and myself, I just don't see it's getting any better. So
take a look at if you take a look at the individuals in the Liberty Caucus, for instance, those are pretty good guys.
Well, can you name them for us,
Yes.
Art, just so that people know who you're referring to?
Well, Amash, Duncan, Jones, Posey, those kinds of people. And it's a growing caucus, and they're starting to get more backbone. It used to, Ron Paul was in it, before he quit the Congress. But that's the kind of people that they can look to within the House of Representatives. The Senate is a mess, to be honest with you. There are a couple of guys in the Senate, but generally speaking, the senators are I don't want to say it, but I've never known an individual to be elected as senator that wasn't compromised to a certain extent.
So what are we're looking at from 10 years from now if the problem still stands 10 years from now? What type of society we're going to have? What type of Congress we're going to have? And what does it what is people ask us, do we have to go to extreme measures to change this country? And the fact is, what are the extreme measures?
If we have to go to extreme measures to save this country, we've lost this country. There are a number of reasons that take me an hour to explain why. But number one, we've got to behave like Christians. Number two, we've got to be able to rely on our neighbors. Goodness sakes, some of us don't even know the names of our neighbors. We just have to band together in our local areas, start working locally and building our communities to where they will elect good people from dog catcher all the way to Congress. And there's only one way of doing that, and that's getting out. And now I represent the John Birch Society. I know of no other organization that can do that but the John Birch Society, because we do it all over the country. There are pockets where we literally have wonderful people all the way through government. Now, you don't hear about these things. They want you. For instance, these individuals that I named outside of their districts, most people have never heard of them in the Liberty Caucus. They probably never even heard of the Liberty Caucus. They don't want you to know there are good men in Congress, but they are in the minority by sure, and they're trying to do what's right. But until they get enough support, until they get enough people, it's not going to happen.
Now, can I ask you a question? People look at the good old days of the politicians were very, they looked out for the betterment of our country. You look back in the 80s, 70s, 80s, when you had like Tip O'Neill, Ronald Reagan, and you see with these type of politicians, we have the Democrat, far left, and you have the Republicans who are some who are considered far right. And there is no kind of in-between moderate. It seems like everyone is extreme. Have you seen that differences that we had back from the 80s and the 70s, where politicians looked out for the whole of a country, and now they're looking for their certain constituencies?
Well, to be honest with you, you don't get this in your history books, but I can tell you, spending 50 years of going into archives and looking up old histories that seem to have disappeared out of the libraries, I can tell you never in our history has there not been this divisiveness. There have always been those who have been trying to destroy the Constitution. There's always been those who've been corrupt and done anything to get into power. So on and so forth. But what has saved us is an adherence to the Constitution and the layers of strength that exist within American society. The love of country, the love of family, the religious core, all that sort of thing has saved this country over and over and over again. When my book comes out this next year on the first 100 years, people are going to be shocked to see some of the things that I've been able to dig up out of history. We've had worse crises in our history than we have today, but they have been expunged from the history books because they don't want you to understand what was going on, because it's the same thing going on today. Right after the ratification of the Constitution, it was horrendous. Let me give you one little factoid that most people have never heard of. When Philadelphia was the capital of the United States, there was a riot of 10,000 people trying to find George Washington and Adams to hang them. Now, you can find that out, but it's going to take you a little bit of searching. Now, why? Nobody wants you to know why, because the forces that were prevalent in that rioting are the same forces that are in the rioting today. It's the same way at the conclusion of the Civil War. They had us, lock, stock, and barrel, but it was the infighting and a number of other things that were in this coterie that had destroyed this country, that finally destroyed their ability to keep the country under their control.
Okay.
I can tell you, just as an example, that there were members of the Communist Internationale who were generals in the Union Army, to the extent of about 50 of them. I can tell you, for instance, that the head of the Committee on Foreign Affairs for the Senate of the United States, joined the Communist Internationale as chairman of that committee in the Senate. That's the kind of thing we've always had trouble with. But again, it's the layers of strength within the American people. We have to rebuild those. A lot of people don't want to get involved in moral issues, but society reflects, government reflects the society that puts it together and maintains it. If that society gets broken, then the government will break. And so people have to get involved in social issues as well as just what they would say economics or what have you.
Now, ask you a question. What do you think about some of the educational issues that are taking place now? And we have our younger generation. We have a younger generation. They barely know the history. They absolutely know nothing about the Constitution. We have even with just the issues with Common Core now, with the federal government coming down on education. And we're just having a young society that just know nothing about what's happening in our government and the history of a government. And do you see that as a big danger in the society right now? Because
it is. It's a huge danger. And as a matter of fact, I'll point out in my book that it's always been one of the agendum of these organizations to get in and control the public school systems and centralize it more and more and more until it's just one thing fits all, and it's the thing that they want. And so they've always had that as a goal. Another goal that they've always had in relationship to that is all kids from 2 older will be raised by the state. And so this latest move by Obama, for instance, to reach down even further in age with government programs for schooling 3-year-olds and up is really quite dangerous. You want them to be educated by their parents, to assume the values of their parents, not the values of the state. And so this has been a problem since 1820. Yeah, I can tell you that.
Now, what do you think about if you see a lot of the protesters going on with Eric Gardner, with the cop killing Eric Gardner, the issue of Ferguson, the Cleveland Police Department, they killed a 12-year-old with who had a BB gun, and you've seen the uproar in the inner city areas with African Americans. I mean, what are your opinion on that?
Well, first of all, the problem that we have is that we have created reactions within the population and the police themselves to presuppose certain conditions, which causes them to react adversely. In the case of the police, they overreact many times. But the other thing is that the citizens overreact too. I mean, it doesn't make much sense to burn down your neighborhood and protest over somebody being shot. The thing is that these things are being utilized to bring about a national police force. A lot of this is agitation behind the scenes that you don't see, but we are very well aware of in the John Birch Society. I used to work with the police and on some of these things. We used to, when you talk about terrorism, we used to have the bomb du jour. We didn't have the bomb a week or the bomb a month somewhere around the world. We had one every day in the United States in the late 60s and early 70s. We knew what this thing was doing to our communities. And the things that happened at that time to stop the ability of local police from protecting the community was astonishing. And now we're beginning to reap the results of that. The thing is that the training that the police get today tend to separate sort of them and us psychology to where the police feel as though they are an isolated unit instead of being part of the local citizenry. And we've got to get them back, both sides, both the community and the police, understanding that this is part of the local community. It cannot be federalized. It cannot be brought under the control of the state either. And step back and say, wait a minute, let's not overreact here. Let's find out what's going on. If the grand juries have seen that the evidence presented to them by both sides is means that policeman gets off, so be it. That's the system. A lot of times we see videos after the initial violence. In other words, I don't know what happened to this gentleman that got his knee in his back and it was subsequently died. But I've got to ask myself a lot of questions when I see that video. First of all, why were there so many policemen there for one guy? There was more there going on before that video started to be recorded.
Yeah.
That's what that tells me. If one or two guys are arresting a fellow for selling cigarettes, this seems to be an overreaction. So why was there a reaction? What was it that happened before? And those are questions that aren't being asked. They're just taking a look at what was on the video at the moment it started.
Yeah.
I have a question from the chat room, and just if you're just joining us, it's Art Thompson, CEO of the John Birch Society, who's our guest tonight. The chat room is located at hamiltonradio.net. Click on the chat room to join. The questions they're asking is, do you think the president is dividing the public from the police, and do you think the president's actually stoking the problem?
Well, the answer to the last one, yes. No question about it. It is very divisive. A president is, first of all, the president is not even supposed to get involved in this sort of thing. These are local problems. The president isn't even supposed to even get involved. I mean, everything that happens anywhere in the United States, this guy's on TV every day sticking his nose into it. And instead of solving it and salving it, he is exacerbating it. It's a real problem. That's when he's not golfing. And so it's these things, we all of a sudden have a tendency to believe that everything that happens today is a federal concern. It's not. And we've got to get away from that. And I think that is more of a, it doesn't matter whether it's an Obama or a Bush or anybody else. We have this attitude here in the last decade or so that everything is national, everything is federal, and it's not.
Right. And, I mean, I think the understanding of what the Constitution document did was to limit the powers of government, as opposed to what I think a lot of my friends think, or just in general, the idea is that the federal government does take care of everyone and should take care of everyone. And the document called our Constitution is a limit to, under Article 1, Section 8, the 18 clauses in there describe what roles they have, and anything not listed in there is not a role of the federal government, which is what people don't realize or think about, or I don't know if they care anymore. I think they just feel like federal government should have that role, and they're okay with them having it. So,
well, the media is setting that attitude up. In fact, I was watching everybody's favorite television station today, and getting really irritated with them also setting up the idea that we've got to stick our nose in everywhere and everything, not just nationally but internationally.
Yeah.
And when we do that, all we do is stir things up. Anybody that's studied history knows, for instance, that nobody has gone into Afghanistan and not come out wounded. Nobody for thousands of years.
Yeah. Art, we have about 2 more minutes before our station break, and we're going to just give you a final word before we say goodnight to you, Art. So do you have final comments or things to tell our audience?
Yeah, what I would say is I would admonish them to take a look at getting involved and really consider doing so, because if they don't, we're going to lose our country. We're going to lose our system of government. It's not going to be pretty. So you have to get involved and look at the best way that you can get involved. And, of course, I found it in the John Birch Society. Go to jbs.org, take a look, see what you think, and contact us. We'll have somebody contact you We want people of good character. We're not interested in individuals that have a grudge against some religion or some race or that kind of thing. We have all religions and races in our organization. We work together. But get involved and make up your mind that you're going to do everything you can to educate your family and your friends and your peers as to not just the problem, but the solutions. And we talked a lot about the problems here today. But you've got to look at the solutions aspect of it, too, which we do have on our website, jbs.org.
And just to add on to that, Kip Webster, who's the regional director for John Birch Society, hosts events throughout New Jersey. And I don't know if you guys on your main website list the events in New Jersey, or how would people be able to find out?
There's a calendar. We do have a calendar. We don't list everything, obviously. But we list, I would say, when we are informed of it, we put it on a calendar, and it's pretty extensive. So probably you'll be able to find anything in your area on that calendar, because Kip usually does a pretty good job of notifying us.
Okay.
Well, for people listening, again, it's Art Thompson from a CEO of the John Birch Society. John Birch Society has plenty of great books to read. Art wrote a book that's coming out. When's it being published, The International Merger?
Well, the International Merger by Foreign Entanglements is already available.
And what's the book you said that's coming out soon?
The title of it is To the Victor Goes the Myths and Monuments.
All right, well, and where can you get those books?
Well, you can't get the last one I mentioned, but on jbs.org at Shop JBS you can get the International Merger. The other one isn't even being formulated yet. I mean, I'm going through the final manuscript.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on, Art. I look forward to having John on next month, so please let him know, hopefully, that you had a great time, and hopefully our listeners that have been listening enjoyed what you had to say. There were some great questions in the chat room, which I love seeing, and, of course, it allows us to ask the guests some questions without having, since we haven't got to the point where we can have dual callers call in. So, Art, I appreciate your time. Have a great night. Have a great holiday, and be safe during the holidays, and have a great New Year.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, Art.
Yeah, thanks. Same back at you.
Well, one day where are you located?
Wisconsin.
You're in Wisconsin. Maybe we're going to have you come to New Jersey for an event that we're planning on having sometime next year.
Yeah, we're just half an hour away from Green Bay.
Oh, all right.
Are you a cheesehead?
No, but I support them.
Oh, okay.
Well,
all right.
Well, have a great night, Art.
I eat
Okay.
a lot of cheese. I don't know what that means.
Yeah. Well, have a great night, Art.
Take care.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
This is OnFire Show. We'll be right back, and give us a call at 609-800-1003. That's 609-800-1003. We'll be right back with OnFire Show here on HamiltonRadio.net.
I love it.
The 70s.
A good wholesome station for everyone to listen to.
The 80s.
A lot less talk and a lot more music.
The 90s.
Oh, this is going to be a good day.
And hits from today's artists.
Great music. I love it. You can't get a better station than this.
Here on Hamilton Radio. Hamilton Radio. Hamilton Radio. The 60s. The 70s.
I keep on thinking about you, sister golden hair so bright.
The 80s. And a lot more. All come alive. Here every weekend on Hamilton Radio.
I'm Art Silvano.
And I'm John Acunzo.
And we're from Sunday Worship and Talk with Art and John. Every Sunday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on HamiltonRadio.net. Come, join the SWAT team.
This is amazing grace. This is unfailing love. That you would take my place. That you would bear my cross.
Whether you're you're challenged with dry, brittle, flaky skin, oily skin, or your skin is simply dull and lifeless, I've got a great skincare line for you. It's called Tazati, T-A-Z-A-T-I. At Tazati.com, you can order products online that are so pure and natural, your skin will come alive with radiance and vitality. You see, Tazati organic skincare products use deep, hydrating moisturizers with natural elements like aloe vera, olive squalene, and shea butter, rich and proven to replenish your skin, yet never greasy. Also, if you suffer from adolescent or menopause acne, you can shop online for Tazati's gentle two-step cleanser, which heals acne by balancing your pH, ultimately putting a stop to skin eruptions for a clean, clear complexion. And the popular Vanishing Elite product can be applied to your face and neck to help combat dark spots for a smooth, even complexion. Place your order today and see what a few of the many satisfied Tazati customers are saying. Go to Tazati.com.
Feeling down, depressed, just don't feel like getting out of the house anymore? Well, do it anyway! Sounds like it's time. Ticketstime.com, that is. Ticketstime.com has tickets for sports, concerts, and theater just waiting for you to buy. Did your favorite concert sell out? We have tickets at Ticketstime.com. Did you miss your favorite team's last game? Don't miss the next one. Log on to Ticketstime.com. Is there a play you've been dying to see but haven't had the time? Well, make the time at Ticketstime.com. Everyone needs some relaxation time, so remember to make some time at Ticketstime.com.
Hey everybody, this is Laura Johnson from Strawberry Pie, and you're listening to HamiltonRadio.net. Rock on, everyone.
If you want whole foods and more natural products while making your family healthier, visit 2285475.myforevergreen.org. That's 2285475.myforevergreen.org. Do it today.
On the OnFire show, that was Mr. Art Thompson from the John Birch Society, and right now he was pretty good. Good.
It was great. I'm always excited to have these guests on. Art, of course, I never met him before, so different than the other guests I've had. I've been friends with the other guests just from being involved with the Ron Paul campaign.
People you're not going to hear anyplace else. You don't get this.
No, you don't get Art Thompson.
You don't get this on Sean Hannity.
Oh, no, you definitely don't get this on Sean Hannity's show. You know, one of the things that is so great about we have our people that have diverse issues and get to come on the show and talk about different things, and it's exciting. You know, I talked to you, matter of fact, talked to Murray Sabin this morning. He called me.
Yeah? What do you have to say?
I was telling him about what, you know, basically I want to plan something in, I guess, March or April, some type of freedom event or some type of conference. You know, I told you about
Sure.
Convention.
I mean, he's a great guest. He's a great speaker.
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed hearing Murray speak. I helped him on his campaign. So, really good guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's suffering from a cold right now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I'll give him a shout tomorrow, actually, because I'm doing something for him right now. So.
Okay. Yeah, I would definitely want to have something, and it's exciting.
Is that news? The news coming in.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. What do we have? What do we have to, guys?
As you know, guests and audience and individuals that are a part of the show, the Eagles lost Sunday. I was so upset. You know, I'm sitting here watching the Eagles game. It was exciting to watch, and me and Jay's son, we were watching the Eagles game, and I'm sitting down there with a soda or something in my hand. I'm looking, and I'm pissed off. They're losing. I'm pissed off at the cornerback, Joe. He's just
Boykin.
Yeah, Boykin. He's just the sorriest cornerback I've ever seen. He is the sorriest cornerback I've ever seen. I mean, the guy scored 2 touchdowns on him, and then Green Bay scored on him before another one. I mean, my God. And then I'm sitting there watching. They show a picture of the owner in there. The owner of Dallas Cowboys,
right? Jerry
Jones,
right?
He's sitting in the room, and I'm saying, okay, well, cool, he's celebrating. So I'm looking, and it's like, oh man, it's the governor, not the governor of Pennsylvania, not the governor of Texas, the governor of Pennsylvania, it's the governor of New Jersey.
Right, there's a man taking up 2 seats.
Oh yeah, fat bastard.
Now listen, he could root for whoever he wants, man.
No.
I'm a Steelers fan. I mean, but actually,
you're not the governor.
You're not the governor.
But
and you know,
you're an individual first. If he loves the Cowboys, let him love the Cowboys.
No, see, you can love the Packers. You can like the Raiders.
But
if you're not from Texas, it is just pathological. There's some personality disorder for somebody to like the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. They are the root of evil in America today.
Yeah,
and it needs to be.
And South Jersey is the Eagles, and North Jersey is the Giants. I mean, like, damn.
And Chris Christie is a country unto himself.
Yeah.
You guys want to make this into a story.
I'm just upset.
And
it's just upset. I mean, you should see.
Listen,
some of the
I'm more
articles.
excited. I'm more excited that his term is coming up, like that. There's going to be a run for
Governor Ed Rendell, former Governor Ed Rendell, former head of the Democratic National Committee.
Yeah.
He went out on the limb and said that it is pathetic that Chris Christie is. And the kid was a councilman and Philly called him his fat ass sitting up there. That was
I mean, wow.
Hey, I got to go back to the chat room because there's been some great discussion or questions posed. Guy actually from Shenandoah Valley in Virginia, boys, is on the chat room. So it's good to see people from outside the state of New Jersey. And it's funny that our talk show is really about a libertarian idea that Hamilton opposed, and it's called Hamilton Radio. But so it's kind of the irony of our discussion. We're going against what Hamilton would have wanted when he was president, or when he was in Congress. There is no relationship to Alexander.
This station was actually named after George Hamilton and his magnificent tanning prowess.
Oh wow. Yeah. And I just want to say, if you go on OnFire News Network, if you go on OnFire News Network, you can see the article. It says Chris Christie, fat bastard, watches game with Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, right? And you see Chris Christie's hugging Jerry Jones, and it's wild. And you should hear some of the comments by some of the people that are doing the twittering. And check this out. Boy, wow. I mean, this is great. Who said there's no Eagle fans in New Jersey?
Hey, let's ask some questions. Listeners, some questions. Hopefully they'll either call in.
Give us a call.
What's the number to call in on?
609 800-1003.
What's the Shenandoah Valley have to say?
So he was very active in, I guess, the Republican establishment, just trying to do his things. You can call in if you want.
Who's that?
He said, in Virginia, we just had a libertarian that was backed by a local Democrat party who played spoiler in a recent Senate race. Gillespie almost beat Mark Warner, a Democrat, who won by only 1% because of the fall, quote, libertarian candidate. How does the Libertarian Party get to the point where they are not considered, quote, spoilers by the Republican Party?
Oh, I don't think they spoil anything, the Republican Party, because the Republican Party is doing absolutely nothing for us. The Republican Party, we just got off the phone with Mr. I forgot his name already.
Thompson.
He basically said the Republican Party is leading us down the same path as the Democratic Party. So they're not spoilers. They are. That's one. I look at it, instead of they took the 1%, it's like 99-1. 99-1. We've got a single party system in this country with two wings that divert us, and they try to get us yelling at each other like we're rooting for the Cowboys and the Eagles.
Yeah.
It's Democrat and Republican. It's not. All that football stuff is lots of fun, who wins, but this is all one party. This is one party rule, and it's not that we got to get the libertarian parties to be like a spoiler. We got to get them to be a party
that's recognized. I think, and it's not only a 1 versus 2. I think it's a one. It's a person. Get to know the candidate.
Yeah.
I mean, the candidates I've met from the Libertarian Party, actually including Joe, who actually I think that's when I met him.
You were? I met you guys on the same day when I was down at the Trenton Tea Party rally.
Who you met?
You and him.
Yeah.
Where you met me at?
Us two clouds.
I met you. You were down there.
Oh, okay.
And you were down there with Mr. Jaskoff.
Oh, yeah. We were selling T-shirts.
And he was selling Liberty.
I was selling freedom, I guess.
Don't tread on me shirts.
Don't tread on me.
One of the things that I like about the New Jersey Libertarian Party and what they're doing, and I think that most Libertarian parties from around the country should do, is go into the inner city areas and not be afraid. And go talk to people from inner city, people from Hispanics to African Americans, to Latino, everybody, and just go into those inner city areas and talk about some of the issues. I mean, remember we had the forum down at the library, and most people were in there were African Americans, and they had older and younger, and former high school students that just graduated there, and they had male and female there. But there were certain questions that people asked, and the Libertarian Party was very well-rounded party, and they asked a lot, and they answered the questions. And so we need individuals from the Libertarian Party from around the state and around the country to go into the inner city areas, hold forums, talk to people, because right now the Republicans don't do it, and so you need, and basically the Democrats are stuck on stupid. And so we need the Libertarian parties to go into the inner city areas, talk to people. I mean, honestly, I hate going to having events and then, you're preaching to the same choir. You have an event like we did with Last Restoring Freedoms, 2 years ago, and then you had everybody was there were either they were Tea Party people or Libertarians. And so it's time that, we go into these inner city areas and keep having more events talking about the issues. And that's what has to happen, because you have to get more voters. And by getting more voters, you talk about there's some serious issues. You get more voters, you can really do something.
Well, in the chat room again, and like I said, the chat room is having some good conversations going on. Simply the question was, he's saying that the Libertarian Party needs to work with the GOP because they are closer than in ideas.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. No.
I mean, I definitely disagree on that. I mean, the Democratic Party has the social freedoms in their mind, and that kind of falls under a libertarian model.
But they don't even. If you look at the Democratic Party, we call social freedoms. I mean, the Democratic Party be controlling the inner city areas like Trenton and Camden. Where's the freedom?
Yeah. The Republican Party is a corporatist party.
Yeah.
It's a party of Wall Street. It's a party of the Fed, and it's not close. Being pro-free market is not being corporatist. It's not being aligning, which is more of a fascist kind of thing, with business, writing laws that put Main Street out of business and supporting a Federal Reserve. And we had Ron Paul. Ron Paul was left. He was laughed out of the Republican Party. Nobody took him seriously in his ideas. He was over there. He was marginalized. He was treated rudely, horribly at the convention.
Yeah.
And the entire Ron Paul movement was treated rudely across the country. The Republican establishment, they won their...
they treat me nice. I mean,
no, they threw you out on your behind, your backside.
First of all, New Jersey...
They threw you out on your backside.
New Jersey didn't matter. New Jersey didn't matter because we got... The thing was over. But in all those states where they went in and they won, the Republican establishment said, all the rules we made, we throw them out, and you guys aren't being seated.
That's right. How was that treated at the Republican Party in 2012?
Well, listen, I was there at the pre-convention.
Pre-convention.
Right,
and they told you what? To go to hell.
No, listen. It was the powers that be.
Powers that be
wanted to just keep the powers at to be.
So basically, they told you to go to hell.
No, but they didn't. They taught me that I can ignore them. Like they're not important to me. What they do in life is this like funny little game that they play. They have this, but we're stupid enough to freaking reach into our pockets and send money to them.
Right,
It's the most craziest philosophy.
Forget about the Libertarian Party. The Republican Party isn't even nice to the Tea Party. We ran with the Tea Party. And the Republican
Party... But that's just a party.
He's talking about working with the Republican Party. The Republican Party's hopeless. They spend all their time marginalizing the true conservatives and the libertarians in their party and turning around and kissing the Democrats' ass. That's what they do.
No, I mean, I just... listen, I got to speak about this. Right. I'm getting boiled up. I'm on fire.
The Republicans coming out of here now.
Yeah, Republicans told Republicans told the Libertarian Party and also the Ron Paul supporters that came out in the Republican convention to go to hell.
But Ron Paul's group, as Ron Paul said, look, I'm not running to be your president. I'm running to get your freedom back to you. Yeah. And he really was like, look,
Mitt Romney wasn't running for anybody's freedom.
Yeah. Well, neither of them were. I mean, except for Dr. Paul, he kind of says, look, I should not do anything that interferes with your life as long as you believe freedom is the most important thing. And he said, just like, I'm not here to win, and I know I'm not going to win, but I'm going to tell you all the procedures behind the scenes that you have to follow, like being a delegate.
But they didn't.
No, he taught us that. It was pretty cool. It was like a fun school lesson of the procedures of government and how the game is played. And he almost is like exposing them, saying, hey, listen, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen today.
Okay.
And then a year from now, it's going to become true, and you're going to look back and be like, someone actually said that. And you look back, and it was Dr. Paul giving you the answer way in advance of what was going to happen.
But as soon as, what bothers me, and it's that soon as that the Republican Party at the convention told all the Ron Paul supporters to, just go to hell. We're gonna do what we're gonna do. The Ron Paul supporters, you guys should have just basically shut down the Republican conventions.
Well,
shut down, demonstrated, told the Republican Party we will shut you down.
Like Chicago in '68.
'68, and that's the thing. I mean,
hold on.
That's the thing.
So let me go back to.
They tell you to go to hell.
Hold on. So
we don't care what you believe in, and we're gonna do what we're gonna do.
Let me take you to Tampa.
Okay.
So Dave Palmieri and I decide we're been so involved with the Ron Paul campaign, we have to go and represent New Jersey down at this Republican event pre the conference, because the convention is for 2 weeks. First week is sort of the partying events. Basically, there's one party to go after another, and you're shaking hands with these politicians. It was funny. I didn't know much about these politicians outside of Dr. Paul. I mean, I knew nothing really except how Dr. Paul spoke about freedom in the Constitution. So I start meeting these people, and of course I'm like, oh, who are you? And he's like, oh, I work for Mark Sanford. That was the South Carolina governor that had the affair and took the woman down to Argentina. Remember the Argentinian girlfriend?
Yeah.
I met his right-hand man. So it was just him and I BSing about different things. And the pre-convention was all about these parties. But at the same time, it seemed like the military was coming into Tampa, because we would be driving to places and there would be tanks and police cars and military. I mean, it really thought like that they had to surround Tampa with police force to protect the. We jokingly said at the Ron Paul events, they're there to protect them from us, because they felt we were violent people.
They're there to protect the ruling class
Yeah.
from the governed.
That's
what they're there for.
So I saw that side of the convention, and of course I heard about the buses taking forever to get to these conferences for voting purposes, and there were a lot of people that were their delegates. Now delegates are voted by the Republican parties from each state, and they go and they kind of represent the state. And certain states were kind of pushed aside if they kind of knew they were Ron Paul leaning.
Yeah.
So we saw a lot of that.
And it just bothers me. It's just disturbing that we're supposed to be living in a society, and that's their delegates matter, voting matters.
But still, they talk about the Republicans being more like libertarian. Okay, let's just say at the end of the Clinton administration, we had eliminated a great deal of debt. We were running surpluses. Then we came in with the Bush administration, and in a short amount of time, we had record debt, which followed the record debt that was run up by the Reagan administration. So, and of course, you had Dick Cheney, who said debt doesn't matter. So, if debt doesn't matter, why do the Republicans get upset when Obama runs up debt? I don't get it.
Yeah, it's terrible, and I look at it both. Both parties both parties are terrible, and they've lied to the people, and they've basically destroyed the Constitution. And so we really have to, as a people, I think that we really, it's a radio show, and people who are listening to the show really have to make a decision on, what are we going to do next? The presidential election is, in 2 more years. You're now talking about Jeb Bush running for president, and you knew he was going to run anyway.
Right.
And, what is going to happen with Jeb Bush, who's a progressive, and then we got Ted Cruz, who's probably going to run. We got Mitt Romney. We're not sure if Mitt Romney's going to run.
Then you got Hillary Clinton, who's
war hawk.
Hey, I got to jump in.
War and deficits,
This chat room is definitely hopping.
Okay.
More people are joining. And just to let people know, if you're listening, go to HamiltonRadio.net. If you click on register, Ruben here, of course, will approve you. Ruben's our boy here who takes care of the boy.
She's the boy.
Not a boy. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Those 5 words we're talking about.
He's going to approve you. You need 6 forms of identification to get approved.
609-800-1003. It's time. Yep. Your uncle's Jewish.
Oh, that's fine.
You're a regular Tiger Woods.
We are a very diverse group here. So we do all believe in freedom.
You got a Jew, you got a Catholic, and you got a guy like me.
I'm an
who's
atheist.
A Baptist.
I'm sorry.
Don't say that.
I was an atheist. I was a Jew, and now I'm a born again Jew now.
A born again Jew?
Yeah, because my kids are back at doing Hebrew
Wow.
school.
Okay, that's awesome.
So I'm learning all about the Jewish.
Did you hear about?
faith.
Yeah, you heard the movie The Moses.
I'm reliving it for the second
what was
time.
The movie?
The Exodus.
The Exodus is out, and it didn't do so good because all the Exodus protested. People protested.
The Exodus, the theater.
Yeah, the Exodus. Yeah, and the fact was Christian Bale, who is a atheist. He's playing Moses, right? And he is an atheist, and it is crazy that all the people who are playing, I think we talked about a couple of weeks ago, playing in leadership or major roles in this Exodus are all white. And so that's interesting. It's
all white.
I gotta jump back to the chat room.
All right, back to the
great
chat
question.
room.
Switching gears, guys.
Switching gears.
Did anyone hear that President Obama's approval rating, 84%, has stayed consistent among blacks since 2010, according to the Gallup poll?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this is or is not alarming since the condition of black America is still struggling?
No, I mean it's the fact that when they talk a lot of black Americans, they about Obama. Well, they said, well, he's no different than the white politicians. That's what they tell me. He's no different than the white politicians. So I give him the benefit of the doubt, and that's how they're thinking. A lot of people who think that way.
So how do you respond to that?
Well, listen, I just look at his policies. I tell people, what do you support? And if you support, Obama and his policies, then I guess, who am I to say, you're wrong? You're
going to get screwed by
somebody. You get screwed.
A white man or a black man.
Yeah, you get screwed by the black man.
It's not the color. Yeah. But again, it's not the color of someone's skin.
It's not the color of someone's.
What's in their mind.
What's in their mindset?
What freedom is.
And
that's my thinking.
And what is freedom to you is maybe freedom to somebody else. And then
freedom to me, in the truest sense of nature.
Yeah.
Because again, hanging out with chickens a lot makes
That's freedom
you
to you.
appreciate freedom because they pretty much hang out, peck the ground, get food, go back in, lay an egg for you, and gives you nutrient and food for us.
Then you have the gay and lesbian community who Obama supports, and they feel that Obama giving us freedom, and that's true.
And this is what I say:
freedom.
You already
freedom
have
to get married.
You have freedom. You had freedom day one. Like you have freedom to be who you are, what you are, where you are, when you want it. It doesn't matter. That's the thing. You already have your freedom. You just think you have to fight for it. I mean, this fighting for men's rights, women's rights. I'm doing short people's rights, right, Darryl?
Yeah.
You got tall man's rights.
Tall man's rights.
Right?
This is a lot of rights.
We got white rights, blue rights, yellow rights.
And but when you say 84% in Obama, there's a lot of people. Who are they getting statistics from? Who are they asking? And, if you look at the college students, what is the statistic rate with college students in America about and how they support Obama? I mean, you look at those statistics, and it's probably up in the high 70s.
Well, I just got a clue of who's been asking these questions.
Who's been asking the questions?
The guest 41345. He is actually sitting next to my buddy Fred, the Chicken Man.
Oh, the Chicken Man.
The guy's name is Steve. And
asking us some.
Steve, from my buddy Fred, has told me that Steve should be actually on the mic right now talking. I actually invited them to come because I thought they would be.
Can you give me a deal on some chicken?
Fred will give you chickens.
Okay, that's what I need. A couple chickens. I don't want to.
2 hens. Do you need hens?
No, I need fried chickens.
Do you mean for dinner?
Yeah, I want to wring the necks.
So you just want to get the fish. You don't want to be taught how to fish.
Well, no, listen.
Listen, if you love your chicken,
if I love my chicken, I just want to
harvest your chicken.
I want to yank that neck.
Yank the neck?
Choking his chicken.
Choking his chicken. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Fred's not feeling well. So yeah, Steve's listening by himself and hopefully enjoy this banter.
It'd be 2 chicken choking tonight. and so I want to get an axe and maybe I can get an axe and cut the chicken head off.
I did that.
Yeah,
guys.
I love that.
I did that.
The chicken was running when you had an axe.
Fred taught me
how to cut the head off the chicken.
Process a chicken.
I know how to process a chicken. You stick it in boiling water and you soak the chicken and you
that's
pluck it.
one of the methods.
All right.
So there's, again, multiple methods of processing chickens. You can de-skin the chicken all at once. Quick process. You lay it. So, of course, after you cut the head off, and I hope not this to be gory, but hopefully informational. You cut the head off, you throw the chicken to the side so the blood hangs out, drains out, and of course, you'll see the chicken get up and do a few things because all it is nerve endings that are firing and like the pistols within itself, and that's what causes the chicken to kind of continue running when its head's chopped off, just so you know. So anyway, then you hold it by its feet and put its, like where its head would be on the ground and its wings will spread apart. You put your 2 feet under its armpits and you just pull as hard as you can straight up, and it will basically de-skin the chicken. And you have
armpits.
For armpits, it's essentially where the wings are, right?
Yeah.
So then after that, you got to pull the wings apart and get the skin off that.
Oh, okay.
And it's quick. I mean, he did it within 1 minute.
Wow. I got to learn it. And I need about, if you're listening, I need about 3 chickens.
Well, he has 60 to go. So
okay, I got some.
So,
Fred,
put 3 aside for my buddy Daryl here.
Honey barbecue chicken.
Yeah.
That's all chickens are good for.
So you have chicken nuggets?
Yeah, we're going to make some chicken nuggets. No, for real.
Yeah, I'll just got to say, I mean, Fred is a great guy in town. I mean, he literally has so much knowledge on the basics of nature, and he gives it to you in such simple ways that, to me, it amazes me. But he also reminds me slightly of my brother-in-law who passed away, unfortunately, back in 2006 in an avalanche in Alaska. And he was a nature's man. I mean, he literally, I drove him from Michigan to Alaska. And actually, I just filled out on Facebook. It asked how many states have you been to. Can I ask you guys, Joe, how many states do you think you've been to out of the 50?
Oh, wait a minute. I think that's the Adventures of Chicken Man here. But no, I think I've probably been in about 25 to 30, I'd say.
Oh, wow.
You, Daryl?
Oh, how many states I've been in?
Yeah.
Wow. You know, I really, if you want to, okay, hold on. Let me go to the map. And we're going to the map right now.
Take a guess.
I can't take
5?
No, it'd be more than 4 or 5 states.
All right, 10?
More than 10. You know, I got to look at a map.
Well, you said you're not allowed to go into Princeton. So
yeah, well, that's not a state. That's a city. That's not a. Princeton University.
That's a jurisdiction.
Okay, all right.
Question.
Okay, that's Princeton University. Okay, let me just say. All right, I'm looking at a map right now. I've been to New York. Okay, I've been to Pennsylvania. I've been to Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi. I've been to Tennessee. I've been to Kentucky. I've been to Ohio. I've been to Texas. I like Texas too.
Nice. I've been to all 50.
Yeah. Wow. Well, gee.
I did all 50.
Oh wow. Did you walk or you know?
I drove with my boys from college.
Okay.
1993. We drove from New Jersey to Seattle, Seattle down to Tijuana, Tijuana back across. That was a nice triangle. 46.
Oh,
nice.
Ruben been to 46.
Awesome. Ruben's been to 46.
Okay.
What states do you have remaining?
Alaska, Hawaii, Michigan, and Rhode Island.
Why would you go to Alaska?
Alaska is the most beautiful state.
Did I say I've been to Tennessee?
Alaska, I've been there 6 times.
Where, Tennessee?
No, Alaska.
Oh, wow.
And
she wally wally, she bang bang.
But yeah, so anyway, I was getting back to Fred. I mean, he's a nature's guy, and my brother-in-law was just like that. And when we drove to Alaska, it was everything about the change in the landscape that he kept saying, "Hey Neil, like we're about probably 10 meters higher than before." And I'll be like, "How do you know?" And he's like, "Oh, because look at the trees, like how they changed." And he pointed out nature to me throughout the whole process.
I've been to Kentucky. Yes.
Rand Paul State.
Kentucky Rollies going down.
Hey, it's got some more comments coming in. So
I've been to, Texas. I tell you about Texas.
Started right.
Hold on. Since Daryl brought up young blacks, the same Gallup poll says that support for President Obama among young people aged 18 to 29 has been dropping disproportionately in recent years. Then there is a question. What candidate said chicken in every pot?
I know who said that.
Who said that?
No, Bush.
No.
George Bush. Chicken in every pot.
Did he? We'll have to see what guest. That's
that's
still Steve.
I thought it was.
I'm going with Coolidge.
You going with Coolidge? I'm going with our fat bastard governor.
Chris Christie?
Yeah, chicken in every pot. It would sound like something he would support.
Well, if you could tell us the answer, that'd be great.
A pig in every pot.
All right, so anyway, he said disproportionately recent years, young blacks 18 to 29, 80%, blacks aged 50 to 64, 87%, blacks aged 65 and older, 88 satisfaction rate for Obama. Obama has been to. Steve said Obama's been to 53 states.
Yeah.
So.
When I just say about Obama, Obama could not win with just black people voted for him. Right. And I just want to let everybody know there was just black people. He got over, maybe 85% of the vote when it comes to black people. But women voted for white women, white women and white men voted for him. So, you just couldn't win without just the African-American vote. And
hey, and I just got to remind the listeners of our future guests. So we have John McManus. I think he's scheduled for January 3rd, I think. I have to reconfirm that. But Frank Mara is another guest we're going to have on. He wrote a book. It's coming out after the interview with us. It was a soon-to-be released book about the tragic events of September 11th, 2001. It's called From Landfill to Hallowed Ground. It's the largest crime scene in America. It's a behind-the-scenes look at a Staten Island landfill.
I've been to Michigan, too.
World Trade Recovery Center, operation where retired Lieutenant Frank Mara and co-author Maria Abad take readers to the Staten Island landfill where 1.6 million tons of debris from Ground Zero was combed through and searched.
Okay.
So he's going to be on, I think that's January 10th. So
you were in Michigan?
Confirm these dates. So.
Yeah, okay. Wow, that's great.
But yeah, I was looking forward to the guests that are coming on.
Let's talk. One other thing about going to these states. I remember I was in Texas and I went to Lackland Air Force Base.
You know where I went when I was in Texas?
Where?
I stood on the Star at Dallas Cowboy Stadium. We went there. The stadium was completely empty. We snuck into the stadium. It was 5 of us, and we were running around the field. My buddy Scott climbed the goalpost and stood on the goalpost. And
wow.
It was like we were so nervous that we would get arrested or thrown in jail. But to them, I guess you could do that down there. It's freedom. It's like just go in.
Wow.
We trust you.
Yeah, well, it's not nothing like going on to a Lackland Air Force Base and watching a female who I met, and she was graduating from the Air Force, and she was so excited and so happy to graduate. And I spent about 4 days, and the hotel rooms are cheap. They were like $25. The hotel rooms are like $25 at Lackland Air Force Base, so it was a good thing for me. And watching her graduate and bringing her a gift and, graduating from the military. And she was so excited that someone came from all the way from New Jersey to watch her graduate. And
beautiful.
And boy, did we have a great time.
Nice.
Yeah, and, we went out.
Does she know her oath to office?
Huh?
Does she know the oath? And
I know she
takes
oath for me.
John Lett's going to really enjoy this walk down memory lane.
Oh, walk down memory lane. Oh, my
Herbert
God.
Hoover.
Herbert Hoover
was the answer.
Hoover, that was close.
Chicken in every pot. One president off. Ruben's trying to take some credit for this, being one president off.
Right.
I mean,
the 2 presidents who had alliteration in their names.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean,
I got to memory lane of every state I've been to.
Oh, yeah.
All the things, the stupid stuff we did. I was on The Price is Right.
The Price is Right.
I wasn't a contestant. My buddy Scott was. We were front row seats.
I
were
saw you.
4 clowns. No, you don't.
How do you know? It was clowns, right?
Well,
it was clowns dressed up as clowns.
We actually got to the studio at 1 a.m.
Did you meet Bob Barker?
We met Bob Barker.
Yeah.
We, my buddy Scott got called up to do the pricing, but he never won. It was great. It was, and the last one was a girl named Michelle Martini, who raised her hands after he said 1266. She, of course, raises her hand and says 1267. So to this day, whenever we talk to Scott, and just say, let's come up with something. We have to go to bar 1267. It's like the joke with us. So, I mean, I got plenty of stories like that going from state to state. So.
Wow. And, when I was in Texas, I was the tallest guy. I remember I was coming on the bus. And I was the tallest guy. Everybody was like 5 foot,
I thought everybody was tall in Texas.
No.
5'3", no.
No, it was all Mexicans. Yeah.
Mexicans, yes, they
Yeah,
are.
And they all looked at me like, who's this tall giant there?
And not to stereotype boys and girls, but I've been to Central America down to Peru, and
what were you doing in Peru?
It was my honeymoon. We went through the Panama Canal down to Peru, ended up in Lima, went to Machu Picchu, which is stunning. But at the same time, there are shoe sizes are smaller, their feet are smaller, so their body which is great for me because I'm a small guy. So if you're ever in need of shoes, the South American market is where you get smaller shoes.
And also we have to
get it there.
We have to go to Brazil on Friday News Network, so we have to go to Brazil. Let's do Brazil. Let's try to do Brazil. We need to do 2 weeks of shows in Brazil.
No, we need to do the Shenandoah Valley.
No,
we
need
We can start there.
No, we got to do Brazil for 2 weeks.
We have to try another guy out. Steve.
How about that? Going on tour.
You go on tour
for 2 weeks to Brazil. Then and I want to do at least a week in Cuba.
And I'll stay.
Cuba would be cool.
Freedom
is go where you want.
And I'll stay here in Jersey and man the store.
No, you got to go. You got to go to Brazil.
I go nowhere.
No, you got to go to.
What author wrote? I have traveled a good deal in Concord.
Yeah. I want to do the
Thoreau. He basically
Thoreau.
said you could sit in one place and observe the entire world from one spot, from what goes on in a drop of water to what's in the stars to the people you talk to.
Yeah, but you know what? The culture is the cool thing.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I want to smoke. You know what I want to do? I want to be like James Bond did in the movie. He's in Cuba. And,
I never want to go anywhere.
And just sit on the back, have a cigar, and drink a mojito.
Nice.
And just and watch people come out the water.
Well, when I was in Alaska, I'll tell you this: being alone, and I wasn't alone. There was a few guys with me.
Watch my J.
I'll tell you, being in a place that's solitary quietness, and you just hear the wind blow.
It's not for me.
I'm telling you, it's awesome.
But it's what is it? Alaska 10 below?
No, guys. Yes, it can be.
It can be.
In the winter.
You want to watch that.
But you're not going to go in the winter up there. But friends of mine, my guide was Tika Lamadé. She worked up. She was the first female, I think, to work the Alaskan pipeline. Mm-hmm. She was hired and went up there.
I went on a date with her.
I'm telling you, she was awesome. I would go on any trip. She is
Native American.
Native American.
I think I dated. I went on a date with her.
Did you?
Yeah. I'm telling you, Native American. That was her name. I'm for real. What was her name?
Tika Lamadé.
Tika Lamadé.
Tika Lamadé.
Yep.
So.
Chico Escuela.
But listen,
yeah,
I guess the night is coming to a close, right, Ruben?
Yeah.
We got to be thrown off, or can we go for another hour or so?
Oh, you got to get kicking us off. He's kicking us off.
Got to be kicking off.
Yeah. He's another fat bastard.
Another 5 minutes. We got 5 minutes, boys and girls, so please
Chica
hang
Lamadé.
in.
That's right. You know what? Chica Lamadé.
Chica Lamadé.
I dated her.
Chica Lamadé.
Hey, in all seriousness,
Native America.
Let's get a little serious here, of
Oh,
course.
for real.
Come on.
I'm serious. Chica Lamadé.
Chica Lamadé.
I got a picture of Chica Lamadé. Google me, and you'll see that. Google me and Chica Lamadé.
Yeah.
Oh, for real.
I can't even spell Chica Lamadé.
Well, on a serious note, I hope you guys are, of course, the listeners are enjoying this show. If you think of guests that you'd love to hear, it's the funnest part for me is reaching out to these guests to try to get them on. So if you want to request a guest, that would be awesome. You can do it through the chat room. You can email me. My email is neil@castlecpa.com. That's neil@castlecpa.com.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Twitter now. I'm a Twitter too, people. I'm tweeting.
He's tweeting.
@NESchloss. Of course, you can follow me, I guess. That's how they say. And, of course, we're going to try to get great guests on the show.
Can you get Chica Lamadé?
I would love to get Tika Lamadé. I'd like to get my
Lamadé.
boys.
She remember me, too.
I'd like to get the whole crew. We were actually known as the Legend Continues because of the craziness of our journeys.
She remember me, Daryl all day.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Daryl all day.
All day.
Yeah. So I guess we're getting punch drunk
And
at
this
10:30 at night.
This is the last show of the 2014.
Is it? Yeah.
Is it?
It is.
All right. So should we make predictions?
Yeah,
Right.
predictions.
Is that how it works, or we should first go through what was important to us in 14 and what was going to be important for 15?
Well, I didn't put a lot of thought into that.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of thought.
I put you on the spot, boys. Here we go.
I think I realized that I really want the OnFire News Network and OnFire show to take off to the next level of talk shows and of news sites, and that's what I'm pushing for this to be. And I like to go on tour around the state and talk about issues, have conferences, seminars, town hall meetings, OnFire News Network town hall meetings, and it's exciting. Get to talk to the people, because one of the things is that you don't see that anymore. You don't see like the major newspaper, whether they're the Star Ledger or what was it? Star Ledger is another one. You don't see that when they're doing town hall meetings. You see on
that would be fun.
Yeah, have C-SPAN. C-SPANs have their town hall meetings. They have their conferences, seminars, and people come on. Well, basically, I would like to see that with OnFire News Network. People come in and talk about serious issues.
I went to Trenton State College,
issues.
So I think it would be great if I can speak to them and get to actually speak on my old college from a radio perspective.
Yeah.
And discuss this.
Yeah,
have the younger people come to the event.
No, because we can't do Princeton.
Well, look, we're gonna get you back on Princeton, dude.
Yeah, all right.
It's members of the law.
They stood over me like, okay, Bull Connor.
You're not gonna cause.
It was like Bull Connor.
We're gonna beam your head in like like
Can I do a
like,
conference call? Can I do a conference like they did? What was the guy? He was on TED. He was on the guy. He's in Russia right now.
Oh yeah.
Snowden.
Yeah,
Snowden did a conference call and he did that.
But look,
that's I'm gonna have to do something like that.
No, again, freedom is allowed to be live where you are, die where you are.
Die where you are. You're gonna get shot.
Handcuffed.
No,
I can see me handcuffed.
You'll be bigger than ever after they shoot you.
Maybe the press will come after the press. So
yeah.
I'll be like the Jesse Jackson. He was there when the man got shot.
Yeah. So my blood all over your shirts, and you can send it to the Smithsonian Institute, the Civil Rights Institute. Yeah.
Facebook. You can like us on Facebook.
OnFire News Network. Please like us.
OnFireNN.com is a website to check out some news articles.
Great news articles on there.
What's that? Great news articles.
Great news articles. One of the things that we have on there for OnFire News Network, if you go to the station now, you go look at Lynn Washington, black leaders ignore racist mass incarceration, Islamic State stone couple for adultery and beheads, 4 for blasphemy, and then you got the police says Sydney Cafe hostage situation is over, and on the brink of war and economic collapse. OnFire News Network. So we're talking about these issues: Obama, dumb, rash, and it's just we're talking about Obama and the war. We're talking about all different types of things, the brink on the war and economic collapse. These are some of the things that we're talking about on OnFire News Network. And it's so great that we can have a site that can talk about these issues and great articles on it. I mean, these are great articles.
And if I could jump back to what I'm thankful for 14 is, of course, hanging out with Joe and Daryl. I mean, it is an honor. I mean, I was invited to be a guest on the show, and they kept inviting me back, and I mean, I appreciate that because, of course, as a CPA, I mean, we're those nerds that sit in the back room and kind of read books and kind of understand the law and kind of be in our own world. So for me to have this ability to speak to listeners, and hopefully you're enjoying it, I'm thankful for that. I mean, thankful for, of course, 2 hours of your time. Hopefully listening to the show every week is appreciated.
Well, the one thing I would just say, since we are coming to the end of the year, have a happy Hanukkah tonight, a Merry Christmas next week, a Happy New Year there after that. And if you want to give us a Christmas present, you can support this show. You can email me at joe.siano, joe.siano, at onfirenn.com. We can offer you a great package here on Hamilton Radio on our program, plus all the wonderful other shows they have here. And or if you don't want to advertise, you can support Liberty by just donating and giving us a check for this show, and we'll read your name on the air and say thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
But I want to wish everybody peace on earth and goodwill to men. Have a happy New Year. And
oh my God, winter storm scenarios this weekend.
And listen,
potential
you could buy
accumulation of snow.
swag.
Swag.
All right.
Talk about the swag also.
It's the perfect Christmas gift.
Yeah, go on OnFire News Network. You can buy also a cup to tell a friend. Buy a cup. You can buy a T-shirt, buy a hat. You got all kind of different things you can support the show by. Mm-hmm. That's right.
So, and hopefully 15 is a great year for everyone.
Economical year.
Well, for me, truthfully, I hope everyone gets to realize what freedom really is by pretty much ignoring this government that's driving us nuts. And, of course, keeping all the money that you can in your pocket by reducing your taxes down to the best rate, which would be 0, if you know how to do that. But, like I said, 15 is going to be a great year. New Jersey is I see great things happening. Mm-hmm. I see the magic coming back to Jersey, and not because of Obama, but because we stop ignoring we ignore the government and become free people.
And also, January 10th, Dr. Bernard Lafayette will be here at the First Presbyterian Church. That's from 12 to 4. January 10th, Dr. Bernard Lafayette talks about nonviolence education. And he'll be here. Dr. Lafayette was a King's aide. He was also lieutenant. He was there when Dr. King got shot in Memphis. And it's so exciting to have someone like that come on and be friends with me and come to the city of Trenton. That's
an honor.
That's an honor. That's a great honor.
That's an honor.
And he'll be here on the 10th and January 10th. We hope everybody can come out and support. All you got to do is go on the Facebooks or on OnFire News Network and type in Dr. Bernard Lafayette, nonprofit, nonviolence organization, nonviolence. Our nonviolence book that he has, and also the article on nonviolence education. And he also has his book that is out that he'll be talking about, him and Dr. King talking about nonviolence and education and being nonviolent and the whole nonviolence movement. So thank you all. This is OnFire Show.
One last thing is just, of course, a slight plug for my business. If you're a business owner who has payroll needs, you can go to castlepayroll.com. It's flat rate pricing, so you can compare it to what you currently pay. Of course, I think my prices are the lowest in town, and the service is great. You get some good back office support, and if you need that, we'd love to have you check out the site. Just check out your pricing and compare it to what you have and help reduce your costs. I mean, remember, live free, die free.
Wow. Katie Lee claims Bill Cosby tried to kiss her.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what we're ending on.
Yeah, no, that's not what we ended on.
Oh.
This is OnFire Show. We're about to end out a happy